In the FlexiProject system, we have a lot of flexibility in determining system access for specific users. We do this by assigning them the appropriate license and by granting them the appropriate global permissions to the system. We do this as a system administrator from the Administration tab and the Users tab. At this point, I see the entire list of my organization members in the system. If I want to add a new member, I click Add and send them an activation email for the system. Upon activation, the user will be assigned a free license. I will now open a second window so we can see what the screen looks like for a person with a free license. I am now logged in as the user Emma Evans, who, if we look at her profile, has a free license. A person with a free license will have access to the Tasks tab and will see here the tasks assigned to them: the start date, end date, duration, and source. This view, of course, we can modify accordingly. If I enter a task, in this case, I can only mark that the task has been completed. Alternatively, I can add the degree of completion of such a task specified in percentages. A person with a free license will not have other options, meaning they will not be able to change details or add comments. She will be able to see the history and any changes. Let's return to our user management window. Here, note that I am logged in as the user Daniel, who has a full license and, as we can see, is the system administrator, so he can change settings for these users. If I want to change the type of license, I click these three dots, and from this level, I can change the type of license and access, as well as remove a given person from the organization. If I remove such a person, they will disappear from this list. However, in other parts of the system, where they were assigned to specific elements such as tasks, there will be information indicating that it is assigned to Emma, but it will display a crossed-out icon showing that the user has been removed from the system. If I go into Licenses and Permissions, I change the license to Standard. Here is a brief description of what such a license will provide to the user. This user can access schedule, budget, risks, products, project charter, and fully manage the elements to which she is assigned. Also, she can record working time on scheduled tasks. If I click Save, I change the access for this person, which also changes the license and moves it to Emma. I refresh this window and see that a few things have changed. If I enter a given task, I can already see that by moving to a task from the project level, I can change the dates or duration. Since I am assigned to a specific item, if I wanted to change the possibility of modifying these details, I can do it as an administrator by changing it in the project settings. I can also change the assignment to specific users and edit the details of this task. As we can see, I also have access to the Projects tab, which includes projects I am assigned to, meaning where my user Emma Evans is carrying out some tasks. If I enter a project, I see that I have access to the schedule. However, if I enter a task, I am not able to change those details because I only have a view of my project's schedule, but I can influence the details only of those elements to which I am assigned. Such a person also has access to risks. Seeing the risks in the project, but again will not be able to edit them unless I am assigned to a specific risk. Then, similar to tasks, I am able to change its details. I am the owner of this element. The same will happen with the Products tab. I also have a preview of the project charter. I can check some details and access the chat. As a user with these permissions, I can also log work time. Currently, I have no work time registered for this month. However, if I go into Tasks, I can add some work time here. Click Save. Such a saved work time will appear on my list. But what if I change the person's permissions to a full license? I go back to my administrator account and change the license to full. Here, the system allows us to modify access to various fields extensively. It is fully editable here. In the Projects tab, the system allows us to choose whether it should be a person who can only see the projects they are assigned to, can create new projects, or can only see all projects without the ability to edit. Should she have administrative permissions? I will change it here to Creator, click Save, and then go back to my project list. After refreshing, I see that I can add a new project here according to my permissions. Going back to the permissions list, in this case, I can change her permissions in the Project Portfolios tab. I can grant or deny access, provide a preview, or grant full access to the items in the portfolio. I'll click that I want this person to be able to manage the project portfolio. Next, whether Emma Evans should only see her own working time or also have access to view the working time of other users, in the Resources tab, she can either have no access to this screen or have managerial permissions. Similarly, in the Strategy tab, and in the Project Charters, Scoring Review, and Acceptance Path tab. Even if she had all fields marked as Management, Emma would still not have access to the Administration tab. It is restricted to system administrators only. As you can see, enabling admin permissions grants Emma management capabilities across the entire system. I will turn off this option for now, as I wanted to demonstrate that we can still add a given user to groups. Well, let's imagine a situation where we have to add, for example, 10 users, and we don't want to click through these permissions for each user. I can add such a user to a group. If I click Add, I select a group. I currently have a permissions group defined in my organization, Tech Governance. If I click Add, I see that these permissions have changed according to my group settings. If I click Save and go to Groups, from this point I am able to edit permissions for my group. And so I see that in the case of Tech Governance, I can change the permissions of each element, as well as see the users who are assigned to this group and change the settings of this group. For example, choose an image, change the name, or add a description, or completely delete such a group. I'll go back to my user list for a moment and add administrative permissions for Emma. So, how will the view change on her account? We're back on Emma's account, and after refreshing the screen, I see that she has access to nearly all the system elements. New tabs appeared on the left. Now, let's also see what would happen if we add a user. I have a user added named Test. If I delete such a user, they will disappear from my list. But I can see all deleted users by enabling the filtering option and showing deleted users. That's it regarding global permissions in the FlexiProject system. I would like to encourage you to look at your users' permissions in your system after watching this video and see how you can change these options and adjust them to your employees' needs. If you find this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and I wish you fruitful work in the FlexiProject system.